Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Val and this channel is called Valiant Lifestyle Design, named after my program, which is very dear to my heart because it is the principles in this program that got me out of very bad places in my life. And for those of you who do not know, I basically got hooked on alcohol at about the age of 15, and I carried on drinking excessively until the age of 25. And along the way I also picked up a lot of nasty habits, culminating actually in me going on a meth binge for a couple of weeks. It was not a very pretty situation at all by anyone's standard, but using these principles in my program, I basically managed to extract myself from the depths of this darkness, the grips of this darkness that had me for many years. And I've managed to get myself into this beautiful place that I'm in currently, and I really hope to be able to help other people to do the same through the principles that I'm going to outline in this program. Now, there are 5 principles in my program, and at the core of it is spirituality. I believe that that is the center that holds everything else in place. It is basically the proton and the neutron to the electrons that are hovering around the atom, right? And the reason why I see that spirituality is the number one thing is basically that unless you have a higher purpose, unless you look to something higher than yourself, you will never be able to keep anything else in your life consistent, because then it is coming from a place of ego. It's not coming from a place of wholeness. Every time that you attempt to put in place a good habit, that good habit will fall by the wayside unless you have a higher purpose keeping it intact, unless you have a bigger reason for why you're doing it other than your own self-satisfaction. The other pillars that I have in place are basically your physical health, your mental health, your social health, and your sexual health. All of these obviously are held in place by the spiritual. And if you look at the physical is actually where I started. If you look at any of the holy texts, basically any spiritual text, it says that the body is the temple of divinity. Whether you call it God, whether you call it the universe, whether you call it energy, our body is what houses that. And our body needs to be in the best place possible for us to carry out our duty as spiritual beings, as human beings, basically, on earth. We have a mission, we were sent here for a reason, and unless the temple of divinity is not kept in good order, we can't hope to do anything else in life, because then a badly oiled machine will always lead to breakdowns. It'll always lead to us not being able to operate to our fullest capacity. And if you look at the mental side, this mental side is addressing limiting beliefs, the way that our mind manifests the reality around us, and how we can make adjustments to the way that we talk to ourselves, how the way that we see reality, and the ways in which we also screw ourselves up with faulty thinking and also bad mental diets. Then we're also going to look at our social health. Now, in the age of technology, unfortunately, we have been handicapped socially. We do not put ourselves out there enough. We do not meet new people. We don't get connected with our community. Back in the day, we didn't have communities that were this large. No, we had very small communities. Maximum these communities would be 100 people. You'd be in the village with all your hunting buddies and their wives and girlfriends, and that would be your community, and everybody knew one another. Unfortunately, now we live in a time where we can be alone in our apartment in New York City, if you can even afford an apartment in New York City. Alone in an apartment in New York City and absolutely nobody around you. And that is perfectly normal in this modern world, which is absolutely astounding if you ask me. Back in the day, if you wanted to get to know anybody, we didn't have this technology that we have. We had to literally walk to that person's house. We had to maybe even travel by horse to get to that person's house. Nowadays, we have the illusion of being connected because everything is so simple, but we never get used to actually being in front of people. We never get used to addressing body language. We never get used to using our own bodies to convey what we are trying to say. And so being able to operate in the social environment is also incredibly important. And then we are going to go into sexual health. Now, sex is something that has been demonized by our society. It has been put down as something that is hidden. To be honest, people don't even know really what to categorize sex as these days. It's looked at something dirty, something bad, something to be obscured, something to not be talked about, which is funny because we live in the most sexually free time probably in all of history, and yet that has made so many people sexually repressed. Why is this? Because of the advent of things such as pornography. Pornography, I think, has led a lot of people to watching people have sex online and not actually participating in the act in a first person manner. And I think this is also, I'm skipping ahead here. What I also want to talk to you about is the fact that we have a sexual energy within us. Basically, sexual energy is the thing that runs all of the life that you see around us, that runs everything, runs our interaction with the world. Because sexual energy, our libido, is what propels us forward. It's what gets us going in the morning. It's the whole reason we are even here. It is literally what makes the world go round. And if you do not learn how to master your sexual energy, well, then that sexual energy is just going to run amok. That sexual energy is going to take you by the hand and just lead you to wherever it wants to go, which is often not the best idea. You know, people who are addicted to pornography, for example, cannot control their sexual urges. They have no knowledge of their own sexual capacity. They just go out there and they basically lose it. They spill it. They spill their life force on a constant basis. Now, this is more applying to men, but this is also true of women. There's a lot of women who watch pornography as well, although I do not think that it's quite as endemic as what is happening with men. So in the sexual energy compartment, basically, I'm also teaching you how to relate to your sexual energy, how to use your sexual energy in a manner that is beneficial to you, how to conserve your sexual energy, and how to channel it in the way that you would wish to see it channeled, not to see it just taking hold of you and using you in order for it to be released. You know, if you don't develop a sense of your own sexual energy, then other people are going to develop a sense of it for you. So that, in short, beautiful people, is what I will be discussing on this channel. This is the main topic of the channel, but I also love to learn, and I will be posting a lot of my personal adventures, my personal learning adventures in a variety of subjects throughout the channel. So much love to you all, and I look forward to creating a beautiful community on this platform.